Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched an episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yeah, the season finale.
Yes, or technically The Real Housewives of Karen.
It really was.
It was very, I've never, again, having never watched one of these like one-on-one interviews before, it was kind of weird. To say the least.
Normally, he's done this with Luann before and with Teresa. And it's just, there's a more serious tone to it. And
did he go to their house on each of those?
He went to Luann's. Teresa came into the studio.
Okay.
And Luann went to her house in the Hamptons.
Okay. Because I think the thing that unnerved me the most was the lighting. It was just like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, it is very they had one light in there. It was.
Well, it's mainly he came to Potomac, but also it's not that far from New York, I guess.
Yeah.
By train or whatever.
Yeah. Or flight.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what to say about this episode.
It's like a season finale. Like, it's just, maybe they could have done this before the action, but then it would have been weird to cut up Angel's trip to cut to Karen. So I don't know.
I don't know that we needed a whole hour of it.
Yes. It could have been a supersized Potomac and had that at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it starts off with her getting out of jail.
Yes.
Getting into the SUV. Rolling down the window to wave at her fans.
Say hello, and then back up when someone tries to be a reporter.
Yes, which, okay, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Then she gets home where she's greeted with the most fabulous balloon and decoration array I've ever seen in my life. By Raven.
That sign.
Yeah, Raven, Ray, and her sister Bridget were there.
Yes.
And you kept saying, where's her son? Where's her son?
Right.
But
and then we see him full on, he's hiding from our cameras typically.
Yeah.
But you can't hide for long, sir.
Yeah, I do enjoy that it was a little bit modest, like a unicorn balloon, I think is one of them. Did he just go down to the local Safeway or something and just get balloons? And I mean, he's in his 80s, so I mean, I guess he did really well for him. But apparently, that's his font. That's what Raven said. He made a sign in that font, and that's all. Karen was happy to be home.
Yes, and see everybody. And she told the story of her jailhouse braids, and the woman taking parts of their hair and sewing it in or braiding into her hair.
Yeah,
and she felt really honored and touched by that.
I wonder if the women on Orange County would do that for Jen Pedranti.
Why would Jen go to... The wheels were turning. I'm why would you...
I'm saying she likes other people's weaves and her...
Oh my God, I'm sure Tamara will mention this on 2T.
I hope so. I'm totally joking. I'm only making a joke of opportunity.
Because I thought to myself, why would she go to jail? Did something happen with not paying the rent? I was really trying to go there, and then I just thought,
no, it was just the whole stupid thing about someone else.
That was just a joke.
As it is still right now.
Yes.
And then basically that whole scene, it was interesting that Karen was at the beginning was just like, okay, I'm going to go upstairs now. You guys got what you need? And production was like, yeah, okay. And she went upstairs to...
wash the jail off of her.
Yes.
Yes.
And take a bath.
Yes.
So.
Because as Ashley said, Kiana said she's going to have to shower with other people.
Yeah.
So she just have to be alone. Yes.
Yeah.
So Andy shows up and
and they hang out in her kitchen for a while.
Yeah, I pulled a hang right before we started this. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's not bad. And
again, I was not expecting him, the way they showed him showing up was just obviously cameras were already there and set up, and then he just comes in the door, and the lighting was so weird, and then for the longest time they're just standing around her kitchen island just talking, and I was like, is this the entire
the island? It was her table.
It wasn't even. It was just they walked in the kitchen door. It was just really bizarre.
Part of the house we've never seen before.
Yeah. So, no, it's very odd.
It was just, yes. It was, I was like, let's just get down to the sit down.
Right. I thought we'd have I don't want to call it a Barbara Walters sit down. I think it's more of a Diane Sawyer sit down. I expected it to be more of that, because Barbara Walters was always intimate. There'd always be tight close-ups on the two of them.
It would be, and they'd be feet up on the couch.
Right, exactly.
So tell me, Shia.
Whereas Diane Sawyer was always just kind of sitting we are now.
Right. Let's get down to it. Yes. What happened in jail? I like that she took the lead of let's talk about the infamous video, and they got into it, and just the way that progressed, and I was running away from something, and she really was very focused on the prescription drugs of it all, more so than the alcohol of it all,
Mm-hmm.
because alcohol wasn't calling her. But as Andy pointed out, the alcohol called you that night, clearly. But she was really quick to be like, it was a combination of the prescription drugs, which she cannot name.
Which seems odd.
Because someone will sue her. But you pointed out that
maybe she might be planning or keeping her options open to sue her doctors or the people that prescribe her medication, which seems goofy or silly to me. But I mean, sometimes when you're in legal situations, you follow every legal avenue you can to kind of.
She's not naming him, but like he could, say you're slandering my name by saying that, like, it could have been you don't know like what that conversation was of upping her dosage after her parents died. And
it's just such a weird thing that she's taking so much responsibility but then kind of not being responsible for a lot of stuff. This was interesting that like she won't, and towards the end she didn't call herself an alcoholic, or she did.
She said, no, I talked about I have alcoholism. So she went back and forth because he point blank asked her, do you consider yourself an alcoholic? And she's like, I'm someone who's still navigating or like still going through treatment.
Like eternal treatment or whatever.
She wouldn't label herself.
Now that's when she said that she prefers, Narcotics Anonymous, that resonates more with her. I mean, that is the thing there was, I think when you're in AA, you stand up and you say, hi, my name is, so-and-so and I'm an alcoholic. But I think in NA, you say I'm an addict.
Right.
And so, I mean, in her situation, an addict is, it covers it both, covers both alcoholism and pills and everything. But yeah, it was really shifty. I mean, she's definitely still ashamed of a lot of what went on. I expected her to be a little bit more like, I'm owning it and kind of being responsible for everything. But she, she's still Karen.
She's owning what she wants, though. She's really, I think, set on controlling the narrative and telling her story because it's been told or interpreted by so many people, like on the show and social media. The
Washington Post.
Right.
Thing. Yeah.
So she's very much, no, this is what happened. This is what, I was running away. I wasn't happy at home that night. The kids are gone. It's just me and Ray. We've been very open about our marriage issues. And so she didn't want to be home. And so took a bunch of pills, got some drink in her. It called. And then she got in the car,
Yeah. Well, that's, she wasn't really aware of Karen back then. She wasn't, so she's now had a chance to get to know Karen a little bit better.
It's like, that's all I've never been to me.
Oh, I've never been to third person before. So
she likes Karen.
She does like Karen.
I thought...
I mean, so much of this was, to borrow a phrase, therapy speak, but a lot of it just malarkey. I mean, just like
malarkey.
She could have, I don't know, like if you're going to have this interview, I feel like she could have been a little bit more forthright. I mean, we all know that, I mean, granted what she's talking about when she was 19, we're going to assume.
No, she said before she was assaulted.
Right.
And then people didn't believe her.
Right.
And I think that part, owning that part of, I'm not trying to use this as an excuse, but, it kind of not stunted her growth, but, you didn't get, just had issues as an adult and knowing who you are because so much of that, you stopped in that moment.
Right.
And you couldn't really move beyond it in a lot of ways.
The trauma and everything was never addressed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That makes complete sense. What I find very interesting is, she seemed very I don't know, quick isn't the right word, but she definitely owned up the fact that, especially when he started showing her all the clips from the reunion last season, which I will get into in a moment, I do like. But she made it seem very, like, obvious that, like, she has been a heavy drinker, that, like, she has been going out, she was day drinking, she was doing that, like, and she was, medicating herself. And then, it just... I don't know. She also did own up to the fact that she's been in denial of this whole thing.
Right.
She's been,
like that.
So the fact that it just seems odd that like it wouldn't be more of a thing. You know what I mean? Like in previous seasons, like her alcohol never really. I mean, I know that's the whole thing when you're an addict is you're good at hiding it and good at making sure you're going to get your next fix, however you need to. So if you gotta keep that quiet, you keep it quiet, right? I guess. But it just seems like. on Housewives, as many years as she's been on it, you'd think that if she was like, drinking bottles of wine and just, drunk all the time, that would have come up.
I don't think we're ever going to get a clear picture of the level of dependency.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying what she wants to say. And so all we have is the woman saying like, oh, I heard this, I heard that, or I saw you drunk here or whatever,
right.
or someone told me this. And, so who knows how much she was drinking. She also was very quick to say what Ashley's talking about, that was 20 years ago. I was a day drinker at the seafood place, and
right.
Ray would have to come pick me up. And so it feels like with her, like the drinking stuff is more in the past. And again, like it was very much focused on prescription medicine.
And my take on that whole thing right now, just from an armchair expert here, is that the alcohol isn't what did her in. It was the pills.
Right.
So kind of, on one hand, if you're going to be devil's advocate, she could say that like, well, I never had a problem with the alcohol. When I was just alcohol, everything was fine. I could figure it out. But it wasn't until I started taking the pills that things got away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost like, I don't know, it's icky when she says that, because it's like, well, no, you're still an addict. Like, either one isn't helping you. You not clearly, but like, one of the traits of being an addict is you are unable to stop. Like you don't know when to stop, and that there's just an appeal just to keep going, all night long and all day, every day. So for her to say that it was never a problem, it's like, well, what you know about addiction to pills and narcotics, I mean, if you apply that to alcohol, I mean, there's got to be a big overlap in that. So
I would think so.
It was interesting for sure.
Yeah.
What did you think about her? I thought Andy asking her questions about her time in jail, while I understand it being like kind of on people's minds.
Yeah, curious.
It seemed a little too like, it just felt icky. So how was prison?
Well, it wasn't, aside from the toilet talk, which
she got 7 tampons and like made herself a pad. That's what I thought. She made herself an old lady padded toilet seat.
Basically, but like, did she tape them? I want to know the logistics of that. Like, how do they stay on? It was a metal. I don't know.
Maybe she like wrapped them around if they had wings. Maybe she like strapped them to the bottom. I don't know.
I'm not being familiar with the
product.
Yes, I just can't say. But yeah, that was a little, whatever. The fact that she gets up at 4:30 every morning, breakfast is at 5, and then she does classes. That was the part when Annie said, with all due,
right.
You're still going through something, and they let you lead classes,
especially
AA,
right? Especially when you just said a minute ago that you're not an alcoholic. So,
but she went to rehab. That's what she explained it as. Well, I went to rehab, so I use those tools basically to help the other women and pass that on to them.
Yeah.
So therefore she was qualified to lead the classes. Can they not afford a counselor?
They're probably not. I mean, probably not. But I mean, at the same time, maybe it is just the sort of thing as like, hey, we need someone who's to set up chairs when we're done.
Set up chairs, put out the donuts.
Right. What I thought was interesting as well, and she didn't hit on it as sanctimoniously with Andy than as she did with like Ray and Raven when she got home, was like all those young kids in there, like I helped them, like it's just like
she was the auntie, as Ray said.
Yeah, which she did not like. She gave that little like, I don't know about auntie, but but it did seem typical Karen in that regard to be like,
she's always trying to like guide a young person. Like,
right.
I tell you, if she had been on the season, she would have been holding Angel's hand, be like, look, Angel,
right.
Look, this trip is going to hell in a handbasket,
right.
Okay, honey?
And here's what we should do.
Yes.
Let me help you out with this.
Yeah, so she's always trying to impart as triple 20 plus,
right.
Can't remember her age. She's trying to impart wisdom down to younger people. So it is really interesting, the fact being in jail with people that are your children's age, you can't you naturally go to a mother auntie role.
Right. No, and I think it's, that's definitely got to be true and a little bit like sobering, and no pun intended, for her to be like, wow, I'm 60 something and I've avoided this the whole time, but here's this 20-year-old who's here. I mean, it just is a little too judgmental for me, I think, as though they would benefit from her knowledge. It's like, what are they doing there at age 20 that like Karen thinks she can speak to? You know what I mean? Like that's the sort of thing that made me go like, I don't know, but
they're all there not all for the same reason, I guess.
No.
But if you're in those classes,
true,
then
the alcohol, or they're all there for because they did something that had alcohol related to it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Roughly the same boat.
That's true. It's not like she was in Montgomery County Jail with like murderers.
Right.
It was all like, Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a little bit more sense to me. It's just like, could you imagine just being like, from the streets and having Karen Huger be like, oh, yeah, let me help you. It's like, ma'am, I don't think
thanks, Potomac, but I'm good.
Yeah. I don't think Potomac and Baltimore, really line up too well. So, but anyway.
And then the astronaut food, that was...
Right.
Food is not good in prison.
I mean, I remember when I went camping recently, Esther had a bunch of those camping like packs and I didn't want to eat a single one of them. She opened one up and I was like, yeah, it's definitely food of some sort.
Is that like just add water and you have a meal?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Or they're just prepackaged, like, that they're vacuum sealed. When you open them up, they're like fine.
They would be warm-ish.
You could warm them up.
Oh yes, the campfire.
Yeah. All I know is I just was not interested. I was like, I made breakfast burritos. I'll eat those. So, but her husband offered them to her to have. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, astronaut food I don't think I would enjoy. But again, it's prison food. I mean, I don't know. It's county jail, right? Isn't that where she was?
I can't remember where she was exactly.
They showed her coming out of Montgomery. I don't know that there's a difference. I know I'm just semantically speaking, but
I feel like jail is more like a holding place where you go on to like full on prison.
Right. But I guess county prison. Yeah. Okay. Prison just sounds really harsh.
Well, it should be.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought she walked out of the Montgomery County jailhouse. I don't know if there's a difference. But.
I mean, that's like the one point where she said she really thought that she would only be in there for like a month or 3. So when she got sentenced to more, she was really shocked by that.
Yeah.
But she realized she had to be there and did all the volunteering and got out early. I forgot how early she got out.
Yeah, she only served half her sentence.
Yeah.
So, well, that seems to be, but you always hear about prison overcrowding and lack of funding and everything, and that usually most people get out early unless it's some violent, horrible crime. So
that's true.
So, I like that she finally took ownership of the fact that she could have killed someone and all that stuff. That
very
was
much so.
That was good to hear. Moving on, unless there's something else you can think of.
I just remember that.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was also taken aback. I didn't expect Andy to be like, oh, well, since you didn't make it to that reunion, here are the things we thought you'd be incited by.
That was like a full-on segment of, let's listen to people talk about you. And then you're going to...
Yeah.
And she was so controlled and, well, okay. I mean, there was some shade.
Yeah.
Mainly towards Wendy. And... the whole, why we're in a bad place, like, what you did kind of attitude. So interesting.
Yeah.
The fact that she said Ashley, part of what she said was right. I forgot about Ashley's whole thing about.
Yeah, there's someone else in the car.
As if people just like throw themselves at Ashley. I know that these women get DMs galore with information and facts or whatever. But the fact that she's like, I was on a train, someone said this to me. I was over here.
Yeah.
And people just like tripping over themselves to tell Ashley about Karen is comical.
Yeah. But no, I do like that she responded to it and that she was reasonable with saying that, like, yeah, I can see why they would draw their own conclusions and that, like, the things that they're saying, I don't think
I'm not mad. I'm like, really? You're not showing that you're mad, but you think you're mad.
Well, I mean... I don't know if you believe her when she says that, like, maybe she, doesn't deserve a second chance, doesn't deserve to come back.
That was really humble.
I mean, I think she has to say that,
Yeah.
But like, I've earned my place back. It's like,
I mean,
like in the fans' hearts, maybe.
I mean, the fact that, she, not to compare the two, but, she took the time, she did the treatment, she went to jail, and for her to say that, I know it's a different production company, different people, but like Shannon jumped right back into the show. Shannon literally had the DUI, went to BravoCon, they started filming. There was never a question that she would come back. So, and she never thought, maybe I should take a break here.
Right.
So for Karen to say, whether it's real or not, or truthful or not, I have to earn my place back in here. I did wrong, and they'd be right to say that maybe I shouldn't be on this platform. Is really, I like that more than just it's a given.
Right.
And
I mean, I will point out Shannon did not go to jail over what she did.
But Shannon never thought to herself, maybe I should take a beat. Maybe I should not drink on camera. It was just, I'm jumping right into the season. But again, she needs that show for many reasons. I get that. But no one would have faulted her for saying, I need to take some time to work on me.
Right.
Right.
Or even taking a friend position for a season.
Right. Yes.
Which they would have offered her.
Yes, for sure. So. I can't let this be my personal story, but,
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
That was interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, she was mainly irked by Wendy, but not even like highly irked, just, the shade about her living out in Timbuktu and who talks to Wendy. But for the most part, she's like, I get where they're coming from.
I was going to say, I'm surprised he didn't ask if she'd heard about Wendy's situation, but I guess they're going to get into that
at the reunion, yes.
Before any reunion talk, what about the whole thing about Ray and Karen?
Oh, I've read about that.
Yeah, taking the break, basically the way it sounded to me that she says that she and Ray have talked and that she's such a different person now and having gone through treatment and gone through this that now that she's back she might not be, they may not be interested in each other, and then if that's the case, then
he has a different wife,
right?
She said,
and that's what kind of made me think that was she just coming home every day and just being plastered, and he'd come home and be like, oh, there's Karen drinking again, or that sort of thing.
That was their normal,
right?
So now that she's saying this is not going to be my normal, then we have to deal with things and not run away from them. And if by dealing with it, it means we shouldn't be together anymore,
right?
Then maybe that's it. That is sad.
It's, I think I'd say very sad. But then also, it makes you wonder how much of her, running, quote unquote, is from, a relationship she doesn't want to be in, or with a man she's no longer in love with, or whatever the case is.
Right.
That's definitely got to play a part. It's not just, her parents' deaths and everything that was,
a combination of things, that probably didn't help things.
So,
Yeah. So, yeah, that was...
It's interesting to hear because, you don't hear, that sort of stuff very often.
It was pretty honest and it's valid.
Yeah.
I haven't grown apart, but you're just not the same people anymore.
Right.
You've been together for a very long time. And I think it's just assumed that because you're at a certain age that you just would stay together. Why you're 60 something, I don't think he's...
I think he's 80.
You're older folks.
Right.
It's just, why would you not be together anymore? And you're in this last chapter.
Right.
Sorry to say it that way of your life, but
the golden years.
The golden
years of your life.
Right.
Yeah. It's absolutely kooky. So the reunion.
Yes.
For this current season 10, yes. Right? That's coming up next week.
Correct. No, next week is the Super Bowl.
Oh, so we had 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yes.
Okay. All right. But yeah, Karen makes her appearance there. Tells
when you
shut the F up. Yeah. So you're looking forward to it?
I am. I think it looked really interesting, with the Wendy stuff.
Obviously the Angel stuff.
Stacey, of course.
Oh, Stacey.
Ashley and Teresa's son. Kiara and her picture frame.
I thought you said Teresa's son, and I was like, excuse me?
Sorry,
No, you did say Charisse. I just heard it wrong. So
she doesn't have a son.
Yeah.
She's a stepson or two.
Right.
And then what else?
Not a whole much else in that.
There's something. Well, Jazzy saying that Kiana stole Greg from somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Monique pulls up. I wanted to show you something.
Oh,
everyone's just so shocked by it. It's what does she have?
I get
it's about Stacey, obviously.
Right. I get the impression it's probably a video of her and Chris on a date or something. Chris sent her something.
Oh, Chris and Stacey?
Yeah.
Oh. Or maybe some screenshot that from a text exchange with Chris.
Right. I could see something like that. So, and the fact that it's all blurred out, that's what I don't when she holds it over to Stacey to look at, you can see it's blurred out on camera. To Stacey, it obviously wasn't.
Well, because they don't want us to see it.
I don't know
episode.
Right. I don't know if that's actually going to be blurred out. I'm wondering that if it's really blurred out or if it's someone on there that they don't have permission to show.
I think it's more so they want it all revealed.
You're absolutely. I'm guessing you're correct.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I'm surprised we've talked for this long about this Karen episode.
I know. I thought like it's not hard. It's hard to really analyze this, but she did give us a lot. You know, she owned up to what she wanted to own up to, but at least there was accountability. It wasn't just pure, this happened to me, you know, woe is me. It was, I messed up. I have these problems, these particular problems that I want to talk about. And, you know, I'm just trying to go on from there and deal with it, and being very open about, you know, her issues with alcohol or drugs or being called, not being called,
right.
Race stuff, what jail was like. She definitely put it out there. So it was good, because it could have gone a whole different way of just like, I'm a Grande Dame. She was much more down to earth than we've seen her, yet still Karen.
Right. You know, it just occurred to me, you know, she probably sat down for this she wanted to get her reunion money from last season. She probably didn't get paid for something.
You don't get paid. No, you don't. You miss out on a lot of money by not doing it.
I bet you like, oh, I'll do this, but I want my reunion money plus some. And they probably are like, okay, here you go.
Well, I don't think she's going to get her full like fee, because
no.
Usually you get your second half of money for the season. I don't know if this is still the same. That's what I heard years ago. Your second half with the completion of the reunion.
Maybe that was. I mean, that's what.
I don't know.
The reason why I do that.
I'm not her lawyer.
She did seem to be a little bit over it. Like, and it's understandably so. She's like, I just went to jail for 6 months. Like, I was removed from this. I liked hearing about her not wanting to be on social media and, like, you know,
or the phone,
or on the phone in general.
Andy said the phone's evil.
Right. So that was interesting, and I can imagine there being like just a whole like, I'm so over all this drama, like to the point where she probably watched those clips of the reunion and was like, oh, this bullshit.
Or something like that used to mean so much to me when I was so in this, but then having this happen to me, it's so petty.
Right.
It's like, whatever. Ashley's talking crap. Ashley's being messy.
Like, surprise.
Yeah, water's wet. You know?
So.
All
right. Well, I guess there's not a whole lot much more to talk about this episode.
No.
We can talk about other stuff next time.
Until next time.